Hi divas, I need to set up my screen, etc., etc., but it always takes us a couple minutes to get our life together, just generally speaking. So we're just gonna do that right now. Dun, 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 dun. Look at my nails. Isn't that exciting? Nearpod. Fairy Charlie first. You are the first. Oh man, the Nearpod from last week is still up. That says a lot about how I treat my computer, which is not as well as I should. Boom. 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 All right, now we're getting places. I'm glad you're excited for this stream. I kind of forgot to post like anything about it at all, which that is so my bad. Like that one is on me. That one is on me. No, I did not see that video. Got somewhere to go, so I'll be listening to over the car's Bluetooth speakers. Hell yeah, Lemur Banana. Mayday Jade May, thank you for subscribing. Lemur Banana, I hope you're going somewhere fun. Okay, let's freaking do this. Sorry. That's not what I meant to do. Sorry. What just happened when I did that? Just out of curiosity. I accidentally hit slideshow. So what happened to you when I did that? Did I disappear? I can't imagine I would. The camera didn't turn off. The little light didn't turn off. It's so much harder to use my computer when I have nails. Low-key worth it. An ad. Disgusting. We have an e-learning day because our boys basketball team is in the Final Four. That's lit that you get an e-learning day, but are they doing that for the girls' teams? That's my question. We should be getting as many days off as we possibly can. Dun, 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 dun. Command, maybe? No? Option? There we go. Cool. Cool. I got a spray tan. It's still developing. It has a couple more hours. I'm under contract on a house. We lost 6 offers, and a sweet couple that lived here for 40 years wanted to sell us over cash. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. YouTube parking lot, thank you for subscribing. Okay, so what are we doing here tonight? One, I want to thank you all for being here before our spring break. One might say that I forgot to market this or post about it at all. One could also say that this was a test to see who was pure of heart, and it's you guys. It is you guys. It is you guys. Yes, I did get a spray tan for tour, because one thing about me, if I'm going to Spokane, Washington, I'm getting a spray tan. That's one thing about me, is I'm getting that spray tan. And I'll probably get another one, because we're going to be gone for like 20 days, so... We're the teacher's pets. No, literally, you guys are the ones that came to class when no one reminded you to. I'm glad this is happening. I've been on my phone with the bank and the insurance for 2 hours help. I max out at 45 minutes. As soon as something of that nature has been happening for 45 minutes, I'm like, we are done. And we're good, and we are good. Like, we see each other, and we are good. Fellow elite employees, if you will. So, what are we here to talk about tonight? If I was rich, there's a lot of things I would do on day one. I'm currently middle class. I'm not going to get on here and be like, oh, as a struggling person, I am statistically middle class for my household. Like, that's what it is. So some of these things are very unattainable for me, but I am choosing to believe that all of these are attainable. Guys, if she brings out the Kool-Aid, we have to leave. I fucking bring out Kirkland sparkling water. You get to open it yourself, so you know there's no funny business. You already know I have the notifications on, period. I'm so excited. Needed this today after my god-awful coworkers admitted they don't even skim the curriculum before teaching. They just raw dog every lesson, and it's their first year in this grade. So that is actually part of the reason I left teaching, and needed to get out for a minute, because people saying stuff like that, I would just be like, because it's like, you're going crazy for two different reasons. One, that's very unethical. This is children's education, and that's really unprofessional of you. I get you might be going through something, etc., etc. I'm not judging, the morality of who you are as a person, but, you are not fulfilling the job duties. That does not make me think you are evil, but, clearly something's amiss. So, one, it's disheartening because of, you just think about the kids in their class and, that's fucked up. And then, two, it's also oh, so I'm working my ass off and then, no one else is. That's awesome. Perfect. You're that feels good that I'm putting in 130% and making the same amount of money as people putting in 4%. That is something that's going to help me sleep at night. Really, really nice. So that's unfortunate. Literally got my identity stolen last week, and it's been constant phone calls. I had my identity stolen almost a year ago. It was hella. Did not like that. Student half day tomorrow, so my body has to attend to work, but my brain doesn't really. Nice. I've been doing lesson plans ahead of two other teachers because they waited until the last minute. This is disgusting. The things you all are going through every day disgust me, honestly. It's sad, and someone should do something about it. I don't know who. Probably me, but it's sad. It's sad. It really is sad. That's underperformance, not a flex. No, literally. Hello, you jet-setting diva. Excited to hear about the tour. A Walmart bicycle aisle. Me too. I hope it goes really good. I actually feel like I nailed packing this time, but I actually regret saying that out loud because it'll probably come back to bite me in the ass. Because I just struggle to pack because, how am I gonna know what I hate on March 17th? How would I know that? How would I know what outfit I'm gonna hate then and what outfit I'm gonna want then? How would I possibly know that? And then what's also hard is if you overpack, then you have to lug all your shit everywhere. That's annoying. But yeah, whatever. I think I nailed it, personally. Also, did you bring a swimsuit and lotion? Yes. Yes, I did. One swimsuit. I'm also proud of myself for being no, one is enough. You can have one, and if it's not perfect, you will live. Class, I don't know if I'll be able to make it every week, but wanted to say that that there's been times over the years when stream was the only thing I could do all week. So thank you all, and thank you, Miss Redacted. Lots of love and appreciation for this space. Aw, that was so nice, Des says. Aw. It's okay if you don't make it every week. We still love you. Things I would do if I was rich, hire a professional packer for when I travel. No, because how would they know either? And I'm a control freak. So anyway, I got this idea because I think that rich people used to be cooler. I think that rich people, sorry if that sounds idealistic and being oh, I want to go back to the past. So I'm sorry if this is coming off that way, but Carnegie made universities, Carnegie made libraries. Yeah, he did exploit millions of people and was really scary and ordered people to be killed and did so many horrible things. But he did build a bunch of cool shit. And I feel like the rich people now aren't building or doing any cool or interesting shit. I feel like most of them are just doing evil stuff and not even doing anything for PR. That's really my problem is rich people used to be oh, I have to do PR. They were they didn't want people to hate them. They were let me build some stuff and pretend to care about charity so that the public likes me. And that will enable me to be evil and get away with it. Now they're so powerful and they're just being evil and getting away with it. So they're why would I waste my time with some fuck ass library? I don't give a fuck about that. So that just bothers me because I feel I think it's unethical for billionaires to exist. I think it's unethical for people to have an insane amount of wealth that is not needed, that was at the expense of others. That is a big problem to fry. One problem I think could be easier is if we somehow get those people to give their money to me and I would be good at spending it. That's what I'm telling you. Like, I can't fix the system that we're in. I can try, but if I happen to be in a different part of the system than I am, this is what I would do. And there are some people that do a lot of good work, like Mackenzie Bezos, I think. She does a ton of good work. Like, there are some people who, like, are doing great work, but the richest people are not. And that's the bone I have to pick. Because, like, if you're going to ruin our nation, you destroy the world's resources, kill the environment, data mine children, be in the files. Like, if you're going to do all of that, do I have my phone? If you're going to do all of that, you can't at least, like, build a playground, build a library, like, something like that. Like, that's just, like, because it gets to a point that you have more money than you can spend. So, like, what's the point? Like, once you get more than you can spend, you can only have so many houses, so many boats. Like, you can have more, but you're not going to use them. I just don't get it. I'd also buy a big sushi platter. No, for real. I was just talking about rich people owning swaths of land in Hawaii. Yeah, exactly. Like, imagine the PR you could do if you just, like, built something cool that was good for people. Then today we were talking about how we would change our test for next year. Oh my God, it's school. I'm scared. But any billionaire is inherently not good. No, because that's the thing. Like, if you're a billionaire, you exploited somebody at some point. Or you stood idly by and benefited from it if you weren't the one actively doing it. Like, it's just a lot. So this is just a middle-class person's fantasy about what I would do if I became insanely wealthy. It is a mixture of things that are good for society and things that are good for me. So this is kind of a wish list, and I thought about making the whole thing things that were good for society, but that didn't seem genuine. You know what I mean? Like, if I just made a whole list of being like, no, I have everything I need because I have a house and I have enough food to eat, I wouldn't do any reckless spending or do anything like that. I would just give it all away. Like, money changes people. I'm big enough to admit that. So some of it is selfish because I just felt like I'm not going to get up here and be like fucking Mother Teresa. Like, you guys know me. You know what I mean? And, like, I would expect the same from any of you. Buy some cool shit. Like, if you're gonna build libraries, yeah, get the fucking diamond earrings. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get into it. And I did make a game for you at the end, even though this is not a super traditional stream. You still have a game. So, like I said, some of these are selfish and some are good for society. In My America, we will not have to choose. This does have the same vibes as my stream where I said, like, things I would do if I was the president/dictator of this nation. This is kind of in that same vein where, like, I don't think it makes you more pure or a better giver to not give to yourself. Like, I think that is a really capitalistic and scarcity mindset to be like, I cannot buy fancy things for myself and do good for other people. Those do not contradict each other at all. It's one thing if you only do things for yourself. That's a different thing. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we know you would lobby for end world hunger and lobby for positive change and bring millions out of poverty. That's implied. But also, what dumb or super smart shit would you buy? Exactly. You get the vibes. So, number one, bad poetry. I have received a lot of hate online because I have said I hate poetry. I want to be clear. Just because I don't enjoy reading, writing, or listening to poetry does not mean I think poetry is a waste of time. I would pump millions of dollars into slam poetry. Just like the nicest facilities, coaching, training, stipends. Like, I'd have competitions. I'd be like, we're doing a slam poetry competition. I'm not going. I want to be really clear. I'm not going. Like, I'm not coming to any of this. Like, I will pay for it and I'm not coming. I'm not, like, you could not pay me to go. So we do a competition of slam poetry and then there's judges or something. Top 5, I give you $70,000 a year to focus on slam poetry. Like, Because I think that slam poetry is good for society. To me, slam poetry is a sign that people's needs are being met. Because no one does slam poetry when you're working 20 hours a day. No one does slam poetry if you're starving to death. Slam poetry is something that you do when you have the mental and emotional bandwidth to, like, engage. Stop driving your car around the roundabout and making the noise. Like, it's not cute. That'll be illegal. That'll be illegal. That will be illegal. Slam poetry is at the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Exactly, Taylor exists. So, like, I do want to put millions of dollars into slam poetry. And, like, what are those fucking... I'm not a theater kid, so I don't know any of the terminology. And this is exactly how it would go, by the way. Those fucking... in the park, where it's like theater, but in the park. Not an amphitheater. Not that big, but small. It's like Shakespearean. I don't know. I would build a bunch of those for the purpose of slam poetry. And, like, I would build an app where you could book it online and you can do slam poetry. Like, literally, I would make slam poetry so funded. Like, you know how milk is funded? Like, you know how there's all the fucking milk ads and the government's obsessed with milk? If you've seen my milk stream, you know this. That's how I would be with slam poetry. Like, people on the news would be like, slam poetry's taking off. Like, what happened to pickleball would happen to slam poetry under my watch, and I would never once engage in it. I would never go, because like I said, I hate it. I personally hate poetry. But again, I think it's necessary. Like, I think we need to be doing it, and I just think it should be paid for. A lot of these, like I said, are frivolous, so I appreciate you guys being like, yeah, obviously we'd, like, end world hunger and homelessness. Duh, obviously. So this is another one. I would make place centers for kids of all ages. So, like, kind of like a free daycare, but not for, like, a whole day situation. More like a drop in and out for a few hours at a time. This is my vision. Tech free, but we will have a movie room, obviously. Like, where we will be playing the classic Disney movies. Cars 1, Cinderella, Pocahontas, Mulan. Mulan's probably one of my favorites. I'll allow Moana. It's new, but I liked it. It was good. What are the other ones? Like Toy Story. The classics. You know what I'm saying? There's one that's, like, on the tip of my brain that I can't think of. What is it? I have mixed feelings about Ratatouille. So, like, no technology except for the movie room. Do you guys follow, I think her name's Sierra. She owns, like, a playroom. Hers is, like, a for-profit business, which is still incredible and good, and no shade. But it's, like, a playroom where you can pay for, like, a couple hours and you just play in there. Think that kind of vibe, but for all ages. So there would kind of be, like, different zones for different ages. So I'm thinking for teenagers, there could be, like, a homework room. Probably would have to put, like, a couple desktop computers in the homework room. So, like, we'll allow technology for that. I am going to check their phones in at the door, though. Sorry. We will have a landline. If your parent needs to contact you, they can call the landline, and we will come find you. And you can talk to your parent, and vice versa. If you want to use the landline to call your parent, you can. So, like, sounds like the Boys and Girls Club. Yes, except mine's going to be, like, so violently bougie and extra, like, what the Boys and Girls Club deserves. So, like, a Wii, I'd be okay with a Wii. But when I say tech-free, I mean no iPads, no phones. None of their technology comes in. You know what I'm saying? Homework room, full kitchen. Also, I would make it fully supervised. Like, there would be grown-ups around. It would not be a school. There would not be instruction. It would not be structured. So it's not, again, an all-day thing, but fully supervised. So you could be there all day, like one day or something like that, or a couple. If you know what yes, very much a third space. Cruise kids and teen clubs, yes, but also for little kids too. Maybe you're not allowed to leave babies there. Maybe you are. I don't know. It depends on the insurance probably. So there's this travel company, like, it's called G Adventures, and they have this business model. I don't know if they still do it. I heard about this a really long time ago, and this is from memory. But basically, G Adventures, it's a group travel. So you book, and a guide takes you around on a trip. And the way that G Adventures comes up with their trips is you can apply and you plan a trip. So, like, let's say I live in San Diego. We're doing a show in San Diego, March 22nd. Let's say I live in San Diego. I could be like, we're going to do this thing at the beach, this surfing lesson, this nature thing, and like plan a trip. I live in San Diego. G Adventures is big on local experiences. So I might say like, I have a friend who has a farm who's going to make like lunch for us, something like that. I plan this trip. I pitch it to G Adventures. G Adventures is like, that sounds awesome. And that's how you get a job with them. That's how you become a tour guide, is like you create a trip. The baby ratio would have to be 1 to 3. Remember, I am so rich in this scenario. So if like we need to hire 40 people, we do it. So anyway, with G Adventures, you plan it, and that's how you apply for a job. So that is how I would model this if I had like so much money. Is that like, let's say someone mentioned St. Louis. That's where Grandma's Playroom is. Let's say you live somewhere in America, St. Louis, Kansas City, Detroit, wherever. You live somewhere and you're like, I see a building that could be good for this, and I have an idea for it. Maybe your idea is the play center is mainly for teenagers or mainly for babies, or it is a culinary focused one, or it's a museum focused one. You have some kind of theme, or you just found a good space and think that this community or this neighborhood would benefit from this. You write it up about your pitch, you send it to me or someone that works for me, and if I approve it, then we just pay you to do that. You get a salary and we just pay for everything, and it's your problem. Obviously, you'd have to like vet people and inspect it and like not have predators. Again, you guys know me. But I think that really could be the vision. You know what I'm saying? You could buy an abandoned mall for the center. That's also what I was thinking here of like third space vibes. There's so much like dead retail space that I feel like you could do this, and it would definitely be crazy expensive, but not as bad as I think a lot of people think it would be. So yeah, like you would basically get a contract like year after year, and if one day you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, you would just like, I don't know, we'd find someone to replace you, I guess. Exactly. Like you guys are getting it. You guys are getting it. So this one's selfish. I want a hot tub and a screen porch. I think that would be something that's great for society, and me specifically. Look how pretty it is. Isn't that nice? Like, and I know one of those is a screen porch and one of them is glass. I don't care. But because then you don't have the bugs, because the fucking mosquitoes, it's just horrible. It's so beautiful, right? These are also in no particular order at all. I don't know why you thought they would be. So this one, it's not petty. It's actually good. I would buy so much land. Like, so much land. Hundreds of acres, thousands of acres. And then if I found out that a data center for like AI bullshit or whatever, or like an ice camp or like an Amazon, like anyone that I don't fuck with was gonna buy a piece of land, I would outbid them like comically high. Like so high that there's no way it will get approved in their business plan and quarterly reviews. Like I will just bid a diabolical amount of money. Like just insane. I mean like, and especially like those old farmers, like, I mean, like, I'll give you $90 million. Is that competitive? See what I'm saying? Like, I have so many good ideas. Like, someone fund me. So then a lot of the land, I'm just not going to do anything with. Like, I'm not going to let anyone do anything with it. People are going to be like, oh, can we cut down the trees and sell them? No. Can we do? No. Literally, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. I know the budget is in infinity. How much would that be, though? I don't know. There's no point in thinking about it. This is called manifestation. Catch up. So a lot of the land, I would just leave alone. I'd be like, oh, it's a farm. It'll keep being a farm. Yay. Oh, it was just trees. Great. I love them. Don't touch them. I worked with an Oregon, upstate New York during undergrad that did this. Just bought a fuck ton of land around lakes and then did nothing with it. Like, that's literally the vision. Get off my lawn, but it's thousands of acres. Yeah. And then You could also, this would be a really good way to employ people to like patrol the land, like any local people that already live there. You could just pay them a stipend and be like, if anyone's being a dickhead on this land, give me a call. You're stimulating the economy, creating jobs. So a lot of it, nothing would be done with. Then some of it, you will see some of my projects here tonight where this land will become useful. Park ranger redacted. So again, I'm not going out there. Like, to put on a boot and be in the mud, I'm not doing that. I will write the check. So selfish, I want this car. This Ford Bronco, I love it. I love this car. So like, I'll ride this around on the land. I'm not getting out. I'm not getting out. That's part of my job. See, a lot of these things are not that groundbreaking, but no one's doing them. Well, some people are on a small scale. When I say no one, I'm talking about like the richest 10 people. They're not doing this. They're not. And if they are, I don't know about it. So that's on them too. What if you just deleted mosquitoes with all that money? Because scientifically it's possible. And in most ecosystems, they're not entirely important or necessary. Can we make it pink? I'm getting both of them. Obviously, I'm getting both of them. When it comes to deleting mosquitoes, I need more information. We're in an interconnected web. As a Unitarian Universalist, one of our principles is respecting the interconnected web of all natural things. So I am going to need more information about the mosquitoes, but I'm going to go with no. Does Mr. Redacted get one, or does he have to sit in the back? That's not my problem or business. Why would a man be there? No, he has like a muscly sports car. So not that I didn't consider him in this scenario, but like, you know what I mean? This is more about me and society than my actual personal life. So home gym, that's like fucking insane. So this actually, I did consider him because we have both a love of exercise. And I picked this picture very specifically because it has weight racks back there, and it has a Pilates reformer and a cable machine and an exercise bike, because that is the whole fucking setup right here. This is giving budgeting for your future life and home. Well, it's expensive. So, and then also I would want to have a private Pilates class at my house, actually, with the same lady I go to now. I love her. She's incredible. And honestly, her class feels really private because it's at her house and it's only 4 people. So that's as close to private as I'll be getting for a while. But this home gym, you could buy a Planet Fitness just to put it down. I buy every Planet Fitness. I'm going to buy the entire company of Planet Fitness and rename it Planet Fitness Sucks and make it a free community gym. I don't even have to remodel anything. I'll just have every employee, I'll give them a roll of duct tape. Anything that says Planet Fitness, they can put a piece of duct tape below it and write sucks. Like, that would be so, I could get that done in a weekend, honestly. Honestly. Make the radioactive purple a baby pink. Yeah, that's great point. We do need to relax the vibes and the lighting in there. So just kidding. It's going to need a little bit of a remodel, but not too much. Fix the crowdometer. Day one, I will be fixing the crowdometer. Another thing I would do if I was president, I would make that illegal. So this one I think would just be really fun. So, okay, let's get back to Planet Fitness, actually. A bunch of people in my comments have been talking about free pizza. My Planet Fitness has never had that. I've only been going there like a month or so, but I've never even heard of this. I've never even heard of free pizza at Planet Fitness. Is that something they were doing? That feels counterproductive. Not that food equals exercise. Some franchises do it. Interesting. Other than CrossFit. Is CrossFit affordable? I went to Planet Fitness for years and never saw it. Okay, it seems like maybe it's a geographic thing. So this is anti-Ticketmaster. I don't know if this is a good idea because then I feel like they would just continue to raise the price. So maybe I just have to buy Ticketmaster. But anyway, actually, okay, so I'm changing my idea live time. My original plan was that for any big artist, I would buy all of the floor seats and then give all of those tickets away to their like stan accounts. So like any like fan accounts, I would just DM them and be like, here's 3 tickets, bring some of your friends. And then I would just take a couple tickets for myself and just watch. Like, I think that would be so fun. So that was my original idea. My updated idea, I buy Ticketmaster. Everything that's not floor seats, normal, except I make it reasonable prices, obviously. Like, tickets will be between $5 to $100, depending on the venue. Like, cap out at $100 for good seats, whatever. But the best seats, the best seats, the most incredible seats, you have to apply to those. You have to apply and prove yourself as a fan. And if you get in, you get your ticket and 3 additional tickets because we trust you to pick cool people. No resale. And if you don't want them, you can give them back to us and we'll give them to other people. Like, I think you should have to earn that good seat with blood, sweat, and tears. And there's been a lot of concerts I've gone to recently that, like, I didn't have floor seats. I wasn't upset about it because, like, I wasn't, like, that's not my number one person. But I was upset that people in the floor seats were not as excited as they should have been. Like, I went to go see Beyonce. I didn't have great tickets, but I had decent tickets. And I love Beyonce. But Beyonce is not the artist that I know every single Beyonce song. So, like, yeah, I had, like, normal person tickets and had a great time. But I was seeing people in floor seats that didn't know the songs that even I knew. And I was like, and I don't know everything. Like, you should earn that. You should be earning that. I'm an insane Taylor Swift fan. I won Barricade to Eras Tour, and I felt like I didn't work hard enough. Have you seen the video of Chapel Rowan yelling at the VIP section for not dancing? Exactly. So, this, again, if I overtake Ticketmaster as a whole, I could probably just do this, but this was before I thought of that. I would hire a hacking team to somehow fake purchase all the tickets to an artist we hate. So when anyone goes online to buy tickets, it says it's sold out, but we didn't actually buy any of them. So that person doesn't get any money, and then when they get there, there's no one there. Yeah. And we would somehow do it for the company too, that they wouldn't know. I don't know how, but that's what I'm thinking is the plan. What's the rule for phones and filming everything? I want to see enthusiastic engagement. Maybe we do a Yonder pouch. I don't know. But I do want to give people their moment. Like, you run a fan account, you should be able to take a picture or a video if you want to. I don't know how I feel about that. 50 Cent did this once to Ja Rule. That's kind of where I heard about it, I think. Because I remember I'd seen someone do this. I should know who it was. Ja Rule from Fyre Festival. Fun fact. Yeah, so that is another thing that I think could be really important, is to do that to the concert industry. Because I think the concert industry has just gotten completely out of hand. I thought you were already totally wealthy. No. How much money did I make this year? I think like 70, I think. So, like, I'm not poor, but like $75,000. I'm not like, whoa, we're on yachts and on vacations. Fuck yeah. I'm just like living and getting good groceries is what's happening to me. I don't support censorship, but I want people to be free and in the moment and love the experience. Exactly. That's hard. That's a hard line. Okay, so that was for concerts. Oh, what I was saying. I think concerts have gotten so out of hand recently, and they're just so insanely expensive. And there's been some concerts I've gone to recently that I bought expensive tickets to that I was like, this should not have been this much. One thing I will say, though, I've never bought an expensive ticket and regretted it. Like, I've always felt like it was like, I was like, yeah, I'm glad I did this. This was a great experience. But I just feel like for not good seats, they're so expensive, which is why I've been buying the kind of expensive ones, because, like, if I'm already spending $1 gazillion, I want to have a good fucking seat. But, like, I went to a Jonas Brothers concert recently. Love the Jonas Brothers. I don't remember how much that ticket was, but I saw that some seats that were, like, not that great were going for, like, $300-$400. And I know that money is not going to the artist. That's why I said no shade to the Jonas Brothers. They have no control over stuff like that at all. And I just feel like it's so predatory and so annoying and so gross, and I'm just over it. So I'm not really a sports fan, but so, like, same thing with the poetry. I'm not coming to this. I don't want to be a part of it, but I do want to pay for it. I would do the same thing with sports, except all of, like, the court side or front row or sideline, like the good seats, like the you're in there seats, would go to children that play that sport or children that are a fan of that team. I think that this would be really positive for the players as well. That's another thing that, like, with the sports industry, a lot of the players are exploited as well. They're treated like bodies. They get paid a lot, but still they're being objectified and they're being exploited, and their bodies are being like used and abused. And a lot of people in the front row are like angry older people that are not bringing a good vibe. And I think that it would just be such a better environment if the first couple rows was a bunch of kids. And like, I think that would be really good for kids to see this professional sport super up close. Would be so motivating for them. And then think, like, if you did this in a city, it would be the same kids probably multiple times, and just think about what that would do for the culture of that city. Like, think about how much pride in your town you would have if as a kid, when you played basketball, you got to go to the courtside seat basketball. Like, that would be so good, like I said, for the players, for the community, for kids. Like, I just think this is a win all around, and no one's doing it because it's not profitable, because children don't have any money. So, selfish, a staff. Like, I would hire people to do everything that I don't want to do. So one would be a chef. I really like to cook, but I don't like the responsibility of cooking. Like, I like to cook when I want to cook. What my dream would be, I've seen this on TikTok where like the chef is like, this is what I do, is that she comes to people's house, like a specific family's house, 3 days a week. So she will make like prep a ton of produce. Like, she does not make all their meals, but she makes like some sides, some proteins, like things like that 3 days a week. That to me would be the best, because I do really like cooking and I like making things for myself, and I like grocery shopping and things like that when I have time. But it would be so nice to get like a couple things a week that was just made. So another is my dream. I saw this on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Teddy did this. Also, Teddy, I think, has cancer right now, so good vibes for her, healthy, healing her way. Teddy had like a therapist, just like therapy, talk therapy, and the therapist would go on walks with her. So like, some therapists will do house calls, like Erica on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills too. They show scenes of her therapist coming to her house. That to me is the vision. Because I've gone to therapy in the office and on Zoom, and there's pros and cons to both. I feel like in the office, I focus more, and it's like, because I'm like, okay, we're here now, we're doing this, and I really just like focus and lock in. And then on Zoom, sometimes I'll get like a notification. It's just easier to get distracted, and it's over a computer, so like it's just kind of a different vibe. But I love how on Zoom, like, I don't have to drive anywhere. I can just like jump in really quick. But to me, if I could do therapy like in my backyard or sitting on a walk or even in my living room, that would be like the best of both worlds. So good. This I already kind of do. Cleaners. I sometimes pay to get my house cleaned. It's not as expensive as most people think it would be, and it depends what you have them do. So like, I have my house cleaned probably once every 4 to 6 weeks. So not on a regular reoccurring basis. They do not wash sheets, towels, anything like that. I mainly just do it because I like to have the bathroom and kitchen deep cleaned every month or so, just because it's really nice, and then it's easier to keep it clean in the interim. But the thought of having someone that just like, they do all the cleaning, that would be pretty slay. I'm going to be honest with you. Assistant. I'm just lazy. Like, I don't even have like a valid explanation for that. I'm just lazy. And then a driver. I hate driving. I don't mind being in the car, but I hate driving. And then so to me, why I would want a driver, not so much the driving, because I actually don't hate driving. If there's not traffic and I'm not in a rush and I can put on like an audiobook, I don't mind it at all, actually. Oh, I have to sneeze and I have a spray tan. Okay, I'm trying not to like get it on me. This is hard. Okay, so anyway, I hate parking. To me, fuck. The best part about having a driver, it's kind of like, you know, when you take an Uber somewhere and they just drop you off and you don't have to park? That's so nice. But then with a driver, they would be right there ready to pick you up. You wouldn't have to wait outside, and then you wouldn't really think about the money because they're just there all the time. Thank you. I could get so much done in the car if I didn't have to drive. Exactly. I was just thinking about that because, so I'm touring for the month of March pretty much, and I'm flying to Washington tomorrow, and I was like, wow, I can actually get a lot done on the plane because I can't sleep on planes. If I take a nighttime flight, I will try and close my eyes and at least relax. That's better than nothing. But it's a daytime flight and I can't sleep on planes. And I was like, oh, and I'll have Wi-Fi. Like, I can actually get a lot of work done. And then I was like, damn. And that's part of why I put this on here. Like, imagine how much stuff you could get done if you had a driver. To be honest, no matter how rich I am, I don't want any staff to live with me. I feel like that would be awful for everyone. So I feel the same way, kind of. I completely agree with you for two reasons. One, I don't really like someone in my space. And two, I would feel bad that they didn't have their own space because, like, I would be uncomfortable living with my boss. That's something that would make me deeply uncomfortable. And then, like, if I had an employee living with me, I would feel weird about that too. Like, I don't like it. So I do not think I would ever want anyone to live in my house. The one exception to that, and this is what made me think of it, I do know some people that for childcare either have like a night nurse or an au pair. If you don't know what an au pair is, basically it's kind of like a nanny, but a little bit different, and they live with you. Where, like, I can get where if you have very small children, you may want someone that close by. This to me would be the ultimate rich person flex, is to have like a guest house that's for that person, that's included in their job. So, like, you get your regular salary, benefits, all that. Because that's one other thing. I think if you're rich and you are not giving your employees W-2s, you're a fucking asshole. Because if you're rich, you definitely have an LLC. You should be giving your employees health insurance and 401k matching if you're rich. Like, I get if you're just like a struggling family and you're paying for childcare, that might not be realistic for you. But a lot of rich people, that is realistic for you, and you should be W-2ing your employees. So I think it would be like you have your W-2, your contract, and part of the job agreement is that you live in this house, and there would be like agreements about like don't burn anything down. But you have your own space, but it's still like nearby. And then they get like a full year to move out if they're hired or if they're fired. Yeah, exactly. Well, also you'd probably have to really trust someone to have them live with you. So it probably wouldn't be like step one of their employment is them living there. But I just feel like that would be a better vibe for everybody involved. Because then, like, if it's the type of job where it's a 24/7 job, and those jobs exist, that's the thing. I think, like, a lot of people are like, oh, it's so unethical to have like a nanny that lives with you and things like that. I think it just goes back to how you treat that person. Like, if it's high pay and they have appropriate working hours and you are properly staffed, I think like any job can be really done in an ethical way if you really want to do it. Yeah, like, you just don't be an asshole. And a lot of people just, like, don't treat their staff well, which also really shocks me. Like, sometimes being around rich people, to see how badly they treat the people that literally take care of them is diabolical. Because, like, these people are watching your children. These people are preparing your food. These people are in your home touching all of your things. Like, you should have the utmost respect and gratitude for them and, like, treat them nicely. Even aside from because it's the right thing to do, it's also in your best interest to have a good relationship with this person that is like deeply and intimately involved in your life. My friend's daughter nannied for a rich family. They wanted her to live with them, but she said no because she knew she would never be off the clock. She had to quit because they wouldn't pay her what she needed to live in Boston and nanny. Yeah, exactly. And rules of contract, you as the employer aren't allowed to just walk in their home whenever you want. Exactly. That's why I think it makes sense. Like, you have to have hard boundaries around that. You know what I mean? You would just have to have hard boundaries around that. You really, really would. Honestly, like, what I would do to make it, like, if I truly had all the money in the world and that was my situation, like, let's say I had 1 million children and, like, needed a nanny or whatever, I would have, like, my assistant be in charge of the housing. Like, I'd be like, you report to this, and I would treat it like a leasing company. Like, it would be, like, separate. Like, I have no interaction on that. So this is kind of petty, but I think that you all will get a kick out of it. I would hire people to annoy rich people that I don't like. So, like, Larry Ellison, someone that I just think is not good for society. Elon Musk, just people I don't like. I would hire people to just make their life worse. Not really in a violent way or an illegal way or an evil way, but just in kind of a funny way. So, like, I'd hire a clown or a mariachi band to follow them around. That's not illegal. It's just annoying. I would move their parked car. Like, if they parked in their driveway, I would, like, move it to a different part of their driveway. Just things like that. Just to, like, fuck with them. I would, like, buy the Roku remote if they had that and, like, have someone drive past their house and just fuck that shit up. Let's say they had their pool heated up. I'd make it cold. And I would pay someone to do this because it would be a lot of work. Let's say they have a reservation at a restaurant that they really like. I would hire someone to go to that restaurant and buy, like, every single ribeye steak if that's what that person likes. Like, I would just hire some, like, 2 to 3 people. You know who I would hire? The private investigator from Nathan For You. I fucking love Nathan For You. I would hire the private investigator from Nathan For You, and I would be like, I just want... I stepped away for a second and thought you were still talking about live-in employees. No, we've moved on to CEOs I don't like. So I would hire the private investigator from Nathan For You and be like, I just want you to make these people's lives generally worse. Like, again, you don't need to harm them. You don't need to, like, do anything illegal. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Just be annoying in subtle or unsubtle ways. Nathan would be helpful with this as well. So that's also one thing. Like, if I had all of that, this is one of my selfish things. If I had all the money in the world, I would hire Nathan Fielder for like a week and just be like, whatever you want to do. Like, I would literally pay him to hang out with me for a week because I just feel like to be in the presence of such greatness, I would learn so much. I try and DM him. He doesn't reply. My sister has a theory that he has seen my stream about him and is purposely not commenting. And I was like, that's so something he would do. And I'll never know, is the thing. So I would get a private jet. Sorry. What's that noise? I don't like the activity that's happening outside right now. There's someone, like, reversing down the street. Are you okay? I can't really see. Nathan, if you're watching, she's really cool. I promise it's not weird. Look at it. Okay, that was their car. I was worried that was my car. Okay, cool. All is right in the world. Yeah. Because this is the thing. I hate the airport, and that's the cool part about a private jet is you avoid the airport. Like, they don't fly into the normal airport most of the time, unless you're going to, like, a super remote-ass place. There's only one airport. Most private jets, like, they have their own, it's called, like, an executive airport. One of my friends works for a private jet company. This is how I know this. They have their own executive airport, so you, like, don't need to do security. Like, you literally just show up. You can bring whatever bags you want because it's your fucking plane or you rented it. Like, and, like, you can just, like, order whatever food you want and they'll have it ready. Like, just to avoid the airport, honestly. Also, I found out this is apparently how rich people who fly commercial do it. A lot of major airports, like, I think LAX has this, like, I think a couple of airports in New York. I bet Atlanta probably does too. You can pay, like, a lot of money where you do off-site TSA. So, like, you don't go through the regular airport. You go to a different building, you do TSA, and then they drive you to the plane, and you get on the plane, like, super last minute, and you get off first. Apparently, this is the thing. I would be too paranoid to own a jet. You need a private jet, because imagine you're flying commercial and people are propositioning you for slam poetry. No, I'd be like, go to the website. I don't know shit about that. College football does this too. Okay, thank you. I'm not crazy because I heard of that, but I don't know where I heard that. So, in early 2000s, I saw Usher being escorted through TSA in Atlanta. Oh, I got to do that one time because I flew with my dad who works for one of those big evil companies. It was insane. I've been in situations like that a lot where you have, like, either a friend or a family member who, like, gets to do something and you're, like, there and you're like, what the fuck? Like, one time I got to, like, go to Congress and, like, talk to people at Congress. And I was like, yes, Congress. I didn't address them wholly, but, like, I got to talk to individual Congress people in their offices, which was crazy as fuck. The perks, yes, but I would have eyes on the jet so no one would mess with it. Oh, that's a good point. So this is another thing. I would have a landscaping company that only does the like it's called like natural landscaping. It's not like it grows there by itself, but you only landscape with plants that are like able to live naturally in that environment. So they don't need to be watered and they don't need like additional soils or chemicals in order to be alive. So you can still have a beautiful landscaped yard like you can see here, but it's just with plants that are good for the environment rather than bad for the environment, because these plants also enable the ground to hold more water. They prevent flooding. Different climates have different things, but natural landscaping is better. It just looks different in different places because it's going with the natural environment. So this is the vision. I start a natural landscaping company, and you can either just online be like, I want my yard natural landscaped, and we will come and write up maybe like 2 or 3 different options for looks, and you pick one. Because again, like, I'm here for efficiency. We don't have all day to be going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So there'll be like 3 options and you pick one. And after that, you can DIY and edit whatever the fuck you want to. But you pick one and then we go just put that in your yard. Let's say not enough people are signing up for it. We will give you $500 and we will do it. You get $500 and then we'll just come do it. And you can still pick between the 3. And we'll just give you the $500 in cash. I don't even need your information. You know? That's the vision. I think this would be really, really, really good for society. I also want to do something about the golf courses. I don't love that. I don't want to take golf away because I do know that people like golf, but I feel like we don't need that many golf courses. And maybe they don't need to be perfectly green. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe we can make golf courses that are natural landscaped. Like, I have the vision to dream that big. So we will be doing something about the golf courses. Please come fix our neighbor's neglected yard. Books. I already kind of do this. So Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, more of that. Let's get more books in children's hands. Another thing I would be funding, community theater. So similarly to the slam poetry, just pumping comical amounts of money into community theater. Like, small ass town in Iowa, yeah, you do need a $10,000 lighting rig. You do need that. You do. Yeah, we do need the surround sound and the most expensive mics. Literally just pumping insane amounts of money to be creating insanely high-level productions at community theater for no goddamn reason. Like, no end goal in mind. And I think that's, you'll see as my common thread here, I literally don't have an end goal. I think there should be more of these things happening. If I was rich, I would buy urban golf courses and build like real housing and shops in neighborhoods, because what do you mean grass is a better use of public land than a home or local owned business? So Taylor Exist, I am going to disagree with you here. I think that we should take urban golf courses and turn them into community gardens, because having natural landscaping and trees in urban spaces is really good for the air. And I think that could be a really good third space. I'm not saying we don't need housing and shops and things like that, but golf course, to me, that would be an easier pivot, golf course to community garden. And I think more people would benefit because the entire community would use it rather than just like a few specific people getting housing. Just thinking about the logistics of a golf course and things of that nature. This is selfish, a natural pool. We can build these in the community gardens too. I want one in my backyard. And natural pools basically use landscaping and plants in addition to filtration systems to stay clean. They are very, 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 very expensive to create and maintain, but they are much better for the environment. A lot of people say they are much healthier for your skin as well because they do not have the amount of chemicals in them. I love these natural pools though. I don't know why more rich people don't do this, because to me this is like stunning and more beautiful than a regular pool. Like, having the plants in it makes it cool as fuck to me. Trains, all of them. I would just build them and I would brand them. Like, they would be like hot pink, misredacted, like, fuck it, we ball. Logistically speaking, yeah, that's super smart. Anything is better than exclusive golf courses for the rich. Exactly. So trains everywhere. This is a potential train map. Can you imagine if I could take a train from San Diego to New York? Can you simply imagine that? This is awesome. We are neglecting North and South Dakota and Montana and Wyoming. So like I will be on top of that, rest assured. Also there should be a link between Las Vegas and Salt Lake City, obviously. What is this? But I love trains. I think we need more trains in our society. This is another cool thing. So this would be an app, not like Uber in the sense of like destroying transportation, but like Uber in a logistical sense of putting in jobs and picking up jobs. So obviously we would like vet people and like do it right. But this would be an app where you could go on as like a helper. So like, let's say like I've worked with infants before, because this is the thing, you have to apply. You don't just get in, you need to have experience. I've worked with infants before. I've worked at a daycare. So I would be eligible to apply. I could apply as just like a new parent helper and baby helper, toddler helper, whatever. I just apply under the title helper. People can put up jobs for things that they need help with. Maybe they need someone to run to the grocery store. They need someone to do their dishes. They need someone just to pick up around their house. They need someone to watch their baby so that they can take a shower and things like that. I want to be clear, this is not childcare. It would not be you leave your children with this person. It would be this person's here to help with a task or two. They need someone to watch the baby through the night while they sleep. Like it can be big jobs, small jobs. You put up the job, the helpers can accept it, and then me and my millions of dollars just pay for it. This would be lit for disability support too. Let's add that on there. Add to cart, add to cart. Add to cart. The way you can see my spray tan developing like as we do this. So this would be free for all new parents, and then the helper would get paid, and it would probably just be like a flat hourly rate. It would probably be the easiest way to do it. Or maybe you could do it by job, but that would probably be too confusing. But yeah, I think this for new parents and for disability support would be like, mwah. And I think like logistically, it's so much easier because I think like a lot of programs, and one thing that I really learned, like, because I went to school for sociology, you can probably tell by everything about me. One thing that I really learned is that a lot of programs to help people are very black and white. Like, they're like, either you get help 5 days a week, 9 to 5, or nothing at all. When most people need something in between. They need some help here, they need some help there, they don't need it 24/7, they don't know when they're going to need help. Some weeks they do, some weeks they don't. And this to me would just be the way to do it. That would be like the best for the like service providers and for the service recipients, because you could make reoccurring jobs. So you could put like, I need help from 9 a.m. to noon every day doing like lunches and meal prep, and I need that every day for 5 days a week indefinitely. And someone can accept that. Like, you should be able to put in as much or as little. And again, it's not childcare. I do think childcare is very important, and I would fund that as well. But I think this is just a separate thing, and I think putting them together creates that problem, like I said, of like all or nothing, where like a lot of people don't need childcare, they need help on a day-to-day or help here and there, things like that. Or even like, this is a great example of something. Like, if you are a new parent and you have to take your infant to the doctor, you should be able to get a helper that drives you, drops you off, and picks you up in your own car if you want, so that you don't have to deal with parking and your infant and all of that shit. Like, just things like that, where like, it's just, sometimes you just want an extra set of hands that are an adult's hands. This we kind of already said, but I will buy all the Planet Fitnesses. And you just apply with a fitness goal, but it's literally just a formality, just so you can sign something saying you won't sue us. Like, you just put in what's your goal, and it could just be to get more active. Boom, you're in. You just have to sign a waiver, and I would just do it as a fitness goal. That's great because I want to help, but I don't love kids. And that's the thing, like, everyone, I've had a lot of friends and a lot of coworkers who I've seen like become mothers, and everyone's always like, oh, I'll come over and hold the baby. And it's like, bitch, no, she wants you to come over and do laundry. So I also would make giant inclusive playgrounds. This will also be related to the golf courses when we take the golf courses over. So I would just make the nicest fucking playgrounds. Like, they would be so nice, and they would be inclusive for ages, abilities, all of that. For little kids, for big kids, like just inclusive all around. So that means having lots of ramps, having multiple ways to get up inside play structures so adults can get in there too if they need to watch their small child or assist their small child. So having just a ladder, not very inclusive. If you have a ladder, a rock wall, a staircase, and a ramp, that is inclusive. That is allowing lots of different people with different abilities to get into that playground. They all are going to have fences around them. You would be shocked how many playgrounds are not fenced in. And kids run. One thing about children, they run. Fences all around, and then there would be clean, stocked family-style bathrooms. No stalls, all rooms that have a toilet, a changing table, and a sink. All of them would be stocked. Hand sanitizer, diapers, sunscreen, fucking paper towels, whatever, fucking first aid kit, whatever else kind of bullshit. I don't have kids, so I'm sure there's a bunch of things that I'm missing, but I would hire someone that knows that stuff. But I think having these all across this nation, and this is what I'm saying about like rich people today don't want to be cool and they don't want to be loved, because could you imagine how much better the rapport would be with our elites if they had this with their name and face on it and there was one in every city? People would love them. They'd be like, oh my God, I love this. Like in the Gilded Age, at least the political bosses were providing some kind of services. Now they just like blackmail us. And I'm not into it. I would also create scholarships for really unprofitable college majors. So like I majored in social science. That's not a very profitable college major. It's one of the lowest paid college majors actually. So that would be one. Basket weaving, more poetry, still on poetry. Theater, theology, humanities, anything like that. Anything like that. This is not in sections at all. I want my tax dollars to go to all of this. I told you this was very similar to my If I Was President. I don't even have kids, but clean public bathrooms would be great. I'd love if a billionaire got behind that. No, literally, because like, if you as a billionaire became the face of public restrooms and all across the nation, there were clean public restrooms and they had from me with their face, that person could get away with murder. That person could commit whatever evils they wanted and people would overlook it because of the public restrooms. So that's what I'm like, I don't want you guys to do evil, but you would think such evil people would at least see that part of it. They don't even care. They don't even care to have the PR. They don't care. This I also already kind of mentioned, but the like in every city, like a nature zone that also is going to function as a third place. So this is not a super detailed idea because it will vary by location, obviously, because every place has a different environment. So a nature thing in Minnesota is going to look different than a nature thing in Florida. Same thing, as the play centers, people would apply. Like if you have a spot that you think could be good for this, maybe it has a pond and you think there should be canoes there. Maybe you think it could have really great walking trails, or maybe it's just an open field and you want to get rec equipment and a shed just so you can check out rec equipment there for free. You apply, you're in charge of it, I pay you to be in charge of it, and we all just vibe out outside. And obviously, again, like every place would have different hours. It would just depend on every individual place. This would be a free service that harasses medical and insurance matters. So like on the If I Was President one, universal health care. This is if I was rich. I'm just rich. I'm not in charge. I would have a thing where you could call. So like I recently posted about how I had to get a breast scan done. It came back totally clear. Everything's fine. But it was a huge pain in the ass to get it done. So like I would have called this service and been like, hey, this is the thing I need to get done. You would make an account. So it would be a pain in the ass up front because you'd have to upload all your insurance information, all your personal information. You would have to sign a paper saying that I give this organization the right to contact on my behalf. You have to do all of these sorts of things. But once you're registered in, we'll have some kind of portal or app where you can just submit like, hey, I need a scan of my whatever, and this is why. And then the organization would call your insurance and scream at them until they give the prices for everywhere. We'd figure out which places take your insurance, which ones don't. We'd actually run through the billing and get the final price for every individual procedure code that you're going to have done. And then if we need to negotiate on your behalf, we can do that. And then we call and make the appointment for you. Maybe you send us your availability or something like that. I don't know. Like, all this can be done. So kind of like an assistant for hire, but like a Karen for hire, because like you have to be very like direct and stern to get information out of these insurance companies. I went to high school with girls that would run that shit like the Navy. No, exactly. I think there's a lot. What is this noise? I keep hearing this weird ass car noise. And now there's someone outside my house, so I think it's a delivery person. Hello. Oh, I think it might be the delivery person scraping on my driveway. Name it after Luigi Mangione. Honestly, maybe. Former sorority girls, it is your time. Exactly. I think so many people would be so good at this, and I think it would actually be an incredibly rewarding job. I would not be good at this because I'm not very organized and I hate talking on the phone more than anything, but I know a lot of people that would be really good at this. This house. This is a house in Santa Monica that I just really like. I don't know what the inside looks like, but I want it. I really like this house. I was going to go through these Zillow things, but now I kind of don't want to. So also this could be related to the like play center third space. I want like a tech lab. This is for teenagers though, not for little kids. This is for teenagers. And again, this is not social media tech. This is very like hands-on tech. I want them building robots. I want them working with 3D printers. I want them building things on Sims, doing whatever they do. Honestly, we'll hire someone that knows more about that. Art grants. So this is going to be kind of fake because I'm going to be like, we're a very prestigious art organization. If you have an idea for art, you apply. We will give you any materials you need for said art. Maybe you need a camera, fancy paint, a giant canvas, whatever. Whatever you need, we give you the materials, and then we will display your art in our museum, or you can keep your art. And the gag is that I'm just going to accept everyone. Like, I'm going to make everyone apply, but I just accept all of them. So you can either have your art displayed in this very prestigious museum for maybe a long time or a limited time. So like ones that like maybe aren't a vibe or we only put up for a little bit. And then the really incredible ones can be like our main collection pieces, like Hall of Fame type vibe. So you can either like have it in our museum and then you get to be like, I have art in a museum, or not. And I'm just funding art. Again, no end goal in mind at all. Yeah, I'm kind of over the houses. I don't know. This one's obvious. Student lunch debt, I pay it. I don't know if this statistic is true. I didn't really look that hard into it, but some people that made a graphic allegedly think it's true, and so I'm choosing to believe it. That's fucked up that many kids have school lunch debt. Because this is the thing that I don't get, is that if you don't go to school, your parents can go to jail. So we make you come here, but then you have to pay to be here? It just makes no sense to me. Fat ass diamond earrings. Like, you can see there's 2 on this ear. I have 3 piercings, but I keep losing the earring. I have 3 on this ear. I have 2 fake diamonds and then this little moon. Fat ass diamond earrings, just like diabolically large. Like, I love, like, that's the Southern in me. I love a big earring. This is really depressing, but I would pay for prisoners to have phone time because I don't know if a lot of you knew this. It's actually incredibly, incredibly expensive to talk on the phone while you're in prison. It varies a lot by state, but it's really not free most places, and this is in jail. I think in prison maybe the rules are different, but a lot of inmates, it varies by state as well. A lot of inmates are not able to talk to their families, to their loved ones, etc. And even things like if you go to jail for a couple days, being able to call your job and let them know what's going on so that you don't lose your job. Like, there's a lot of reasons that someone would need contact with the outside world. I am an abolitionist at heart, but again, like, the theme of this is if I somehow got dropped a bunch of money, what would I do with it? The same way I would pay a bunch of school lunch debt, I would just put tons of phone minutes on people's books because, like, that's just horrible. Like, being in prison is bad enough. The vast majority of people in jail and prison never saw a day in court. Most of them took plea deals. The vast majority of people took plea deals. There's lots of innocent people there, and even if you're not innocent, I think it's like, no one's going to be rehabilitated or get better by not being allowed to speak to anyone and by being isolated and like being even more disconnected from their life than they already are. So the fact that it's so expensive, and this is by 15 minutes. In Texas, $17, Oklahoma, $18. And even if you work in prison, they don't have to pay you minimum wage. Most places don't. So a lot of the people that are working in prison, and the majority of prisoners and inmates do have jobs, are getting paid between 2 cents to like $2 an hour. So it could take you an entire workday to earn a 15-minute phone call, which is insane, absolutely insane. So I would just like, I don't know the logistics behind this, but I would just put phone minutes on everyone's books because this is crazy. This is also why a lot of people continue to do crime in jail. Like, their jails are notorious for having like additional crime of drugs, gambling, all these things. Like, people, it's expensive to be in jail is what I'm trying to say. Like, when you put someone in jail, there's a big chance that they're there because of poverty, because poverty is criminalized. Even if they did illegal things, a lot of times poverty was a motivator for them. And so to put someone in poverty in a situation where being in poverty makes it even harder is like just why you get the recidivism rates. And I just feel like letting people talk on the phone is like such a bare minimum basic thing to do, and it's crazy to me that it's so expensive and that people don't really know about this. This is not something that many people know about. This is like I don't want to call it like a niche interest, but just something I'm really passionate about is prison reform, because I think it's like, it's such an easy problem to ignore, and that's why it's so bad. And I think it affects us in ways that we don't really realize as a society. And it's just something that like, people think like, oh, they're prisoners, they don't deserve help, is like the knee-jerk reaction most people have, when in reality, like, the only difference between you and a prisoner is that like you weren't accused of anything. Like, it can happen to anyone so quickly, and it happens to innocent people all the time. So that's what, and I think it's where kind of the same way that people talk about homelessness, so just for some reason prison is to me something that I'm particularly passionate about, but where like just one little thing can happen and you can be in that situation. I just like feel that way about this, and I think that it's rarely talked about. Okay, this is kind of giving cult vibes. This goes back to all the land I'm purchasing. This I also talked about in my If I Was Dictator of This Nation, is recreating the CCC. So like the CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps, was created during the Great Depression. It was part of the New Deal, where you could go get a job. It was mostly for young men. Some of these organizations had some women groups in them. I did a stream about the Great Depression if you want to know more. But you would essentially get a small salary and live kind of like a military style, like barrack dorm style, but no war and weapons. And you would just work on general outdoor projects. So maybe that was building a dam, maybe that was forest restoration, soil restoration, whatever. So like I was saying, I would buy tons of land. Some of it, obviously a lot would be environmentally protected. Some of it would go to this to build housing, to build the trains I was talking about, to do environmental projects, things like that. And I think this would create a lot of jobs and then just be a really good investment into the infrastructure of our country. Selfish, both of these bags. Touch grass, but it's a career. Exactly. I do want both of these bags. They are both multiple thousands of dollars, but I like them and want them. I actually have a lead on a Facebook Marketplace version of the second one. It is fake, but it's very cheap and it's nice. Similar to the community theater, I would also give Hollywood level equipment for high school theater. Another thing that I would do is I would fund adult creatives to work in support roles for children's art. So like if there is an actor, like a local actor, they would get a salary to do acting coaching one-on-one at a high school, where like if kids that are in theater want to be pulled for one-on-one, they say some kids get like reading one-on-ones, they can do one-on-one acting coaching with someone. If there's someone who works in the movie industry that knows how to do lighting, they can get a W-2 job with benefits doing Hollywood level lighting for high school students. You said millions. I think we're in billions. Yes, we are firmly in billions. That's why everyone's like, I don't know how I would spend $1 billion. I do. I could get it done in a day. A day would be plenty of time. So this is more just a lifestyle inspiration and a story that I wanted to tell. One time I was at a Ritz-Carlton because I was stealing coffee from their lobby. It's not stealing. It's complimentary, even if you're not a guest and they don't check. So anyway, I was at a Ritz-Carlton because they have a walking trail that I like. And I was getting coffee there. And I saw this family that I was like, damn, I've never seen a family look so at peace. They had 4 kids, which like 4 kids in this economy is crazy as hell. And they had like, you know, on Real Housewives where they have the Sprinter vans, that was their car. It had, and this, the reason I know this is because when I was in the lobby, they were loading up their car to check out. So I'm like standing there watching this whole thing go down while I wait for my coffee. So they have this whole Sprinter van. They have a toddler potty in the back. I, again, saw them check out. They had 2 suites at the Ritz-Carlton. A Ritz-Carlton suite usually has like a kitchen, living room, and a full bedroom. So 2 suites at the Ritz-Carlton. They had a driver and a nanny. And like at first, like the driver and the bags came down, and then like the dad was checking out at the hotel. That's how I knew they had 2 rooms. And then the mom and the nanny came down with just the kids. Like the only thing in her arm was her purse. Her purse. And the nanny had like a backpack, and then children have their various items. And she literally, this mom was insanely beautiful. She looked so relaxed and so chill. And this again is a Ritz-Carlton resort. So they were very obviously on vacation. And I literally wanted to like follow them. Like I was like, I'm obsessed with you. Like I need to know more about you. How did this happen? Like what does everyone do for a living? Quickly. Because I was like, damn. Because normally whenever I see moms even on vacation, they all look stressed and they all have so many bags. So to see her, and she was in like, no, she was not Paris Hilton. She was not. And what also I really liked about her, she didn't look like crazy young. Like she looked like she was in her early to mid 40s, and she looked stunning, healthy, glowing. But she had like a regular face. Like she didn't have a ton of work done is what I'm trying to say. Like she looked like a regular person. She was just beautiful and looked so relaxed. And her hair was like brushed. She was in a dress and sandals. She had a bunch of jewelry on. Like you could tell she got ready and was relaxed while she was getting ready. And I was just like, phenomenal work, people. And the van is really what sent me. Because at first, I just saw this group of like 7 people descend into the lobby. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then when I saw their van, I was like, oh, this is a fucking family. That is a family. That's what the rest can do for you. No, literally, she looked so well rested. And I was like, wow. Also, I want a stack of Cartier bracelets. This is a fake one that I got for $90 on Etsy a few years ago that has since been taken down because it's a really good fake, so they took it down. But I love the stack of silver bracelets. These I think might be knockoff too. Okay, so this is my last idea for the evening. This is a bigger idea. This one is super, super, super expensive. So another thing that I'm really passionate about, probably because I'm a high school teacher and have seen this a lot of times, is that when kids age out of foster care, they are at a very vulnerable time, and it can really be make or break for their entire life, which I know sounds crazy to say, but it really, really can be. It doesn't have to be, but it can be for a lot of kids. So, and like I've told you guys before, when I am fantasizing about how I would spend money, I like to be very efficient with my spending. And by that, I mean like a big impact per dollar. So I think this would be a great use of money, is a post-foster care, not a group home because it would be ethical and nice and expensive. So again, this might sound like a cult, but you guys know me, I'm chill. I buy a big piece of land. I would live on the land, and when I say a big piece of land, I'm talking like a big piece of land. And then I would build this on the land as well. I know you might be like, Mr. Redacted, wouldn't you just put it at an off-site thing? There are shady people all over this world, and if I was to do something like this where the people lived there, I would feel a big ethical responsibility to be available to them if someone that I had hired was doing something harmful. Like, I want people to be able to knock on my door if something is, like, wrong and it's an emergency, especially this age group, because, like I said, very questionable time is 17 to 20. So kids age 17 to 20 who are aging out of foster care. So the way I would set it up, and when I say a dorm style building, I would have every room be private. So it would be like probably a little bit smaller than my office, but you would just have maybe like a double bed, a desk, like a dorm setup, like not a full kitchen, but a bedroom with a desk and a TV and maybe like a chair or a little couch or recliner or something like that. And then you have your own private bathroom, kind of like a single room on a ship. If you've ever been on like a smaller ship and been in one of those single rooms, I feel like that's a really unrelatable experience now that I say it. Or those like micro hotels, just like a basic nice room that is enough space for one person, your own private bathroom, and then there would be a lot of common areas. So like a big industrial kitchen, multiple living rooms, a gym, a movie room, a quiet study room. I think the most people that you could have in this would probably be about 20, maybe 30 if you had the right situation going on, and et cetera, et cetera. I love sparkling water. And what about when they graduate, they get a huge 21st birthday party? Oh, I love that. So remember in this scenario, I'm rich. So it is fully staffed around the clock with kind of like an RA team, except I would make sure it was like qualified people who are trauma informed, maybe social workers. And again, this would be one of those jobs where you live there, and that just kind of fucking sucks about that job, but I would just pay them really well. So 24/7, there would be a staff member there. And this is why I was saying I would want to live within walking distance in case something sketchy's going on. Someone can just go, hey, something sketchy's going on. Because again, like I think these environments are just like ripe to exploit these people. There's a reason why this is a very common age group to fall into drug trafficking, human trafficking, exploitation, labor exploitation, sexual exploitation. It's just such a vulnerable group that I feel like to do something like this, you need to be so hands-on. A misredacted bat signal, if you will. No, exactly. So like if you guys remember when I did my stream about Oprah and there was that incident with sexual abuse at one of her schools, and Oprah flew there herself and gave the parents and kids her personal phone number, that's what made me think of how you'd have to like physically be there, because this can just be So anyway, there would be staff members on site 24/7 who is like they're clocked in. Like I'd have multiple RAs that lived there that worked in shifts. So like this is the night person, this is this person, whatever. Then I would also pay outside people to come in and do like a service each day of the week. So maybe one day of the week there's a therapist there that you can go talk to. One day of the week there is like a career and college advisor, a financial planner, things like that. So think of this as kind of like a how to live boot camp, but nice and fun. So maybe some of the people that live here are working. Maybe some of them are in college. There wouldn't be a job or college requirement, but there would be like a something requirement. Like you gotta be, you know, but like with the services, I feel like that part would naturally work itself out. Like you gotta be doing something. And then I would have it be like reasonable chores, like cleaning up after yourself in the kitchen, taking turns this is what our RA did in college for us, because I lived in a house. It was a weird situation. Some of them are doing the slam poetry. Exactly. You're getting it. So having like rotating chores that are, we can make some like Excel system to do it so it's fair, of just like normal things like sweeping, mopping, cleaning the kitchen, vacuuming. And again, you have your own bedroom and bathroom. So that's your problem. And then I would have it professionally cleaned like probably once or twice a week, just because that age group and that many people living in one place is going to be ripe for the flu to be spread around, for crumbs to be everywhere, like all those things. So I think you would have to get it professionally cleaned, but I also think that doesn't mean you shouldn't be also showing these people, here's how to keep a clean house. Because again, if you are aging out of foster care, you probably have not lived a life where you have gotten a ton of like hands-on parenting in those regards. So this is something I actually thought a lot about. I say that like this is a pressing issue that I'm going to do, is would it be a sober facility? And I decided yes. And that's also part of why I decided at 21 you should age out of it. And obviously you wouldn't just like kick people out, but when you turn 21 it's like bye-bye, but you'd like spend a year making their exit plan and getting them set up and all that stuff. So anyway, I think this should be 100% sober facility to the point that it's like militant, like so strict about sobriety. And the reason I decided that is because after working with kids who have been in foster care and hearing people's stories, a lot of people have never been in a sober environment, especially people that are in the foster care system. A lot of the reason why people are in the foster care system is because a lot of their parents are suffering from addiction. A lot of group homes are very common to have addiction in them, and alcoholism is rampant as well. So I think like once someone's an adult, I'm all about like harm reduction, your body, your choice. You get to ingest what you want to ingest, and ultimately that's on you. But I think for this age group, some people have, like I said, never experienced a drug and alcohol free environment. And I think that you cannot make an empowered decision about your drug and alcohol use until you have experienced a sober environment. I think if you have never been in a sober environment, it is impossible for you to make an informed decision. So I feel like having this be a militantly sober environment would be very, very helpful for people in it. And again, like if you are over the age of 18, it's not like you don't have to be there. Like if, like obviously you would have like counseling and all those things, you guys know me. But I really thought about that for a while, about like, would you let people smoke cigarettes? Would you let people do this? And no, I think it needs to be a completely sober environment, just because people deserve that. People deserve to experience that. Why is Alaska Airlines texting me? Leave me alone. So those are the things that I would do if I suddenly had so much money. I wish that I did. I didn't realize this was going to end on kind of like a, oh, and none of that's going to happen now note. But that's what I would do. And it's fun to think of these things. And it's all manifestation at the end of the day. So today was what I would do if I was rich, like we talked about. Then we have spring break. I will be touring. I thought about trying to stream, but I'm only going to have my laptop, and the Wi-Fi is really bad at a lot of the hotels. So we're just going to take a little hiatus, which is very, very sad. I'm going to miss you. This is the longest hiatus we've ever had. Don't know if you guys realized that or thought about it, but this is the longest hiatus we've ever had, possibly ever will have. I don't know. And then we will be coming back with bees. Bees. Very similar to ants, sharks. We've done lots of animal ones where I just kind of gather things and we nerd out together. Then we are going to have a special guest, Alyssa Megan, and we are going to talk about influencer beauty brands, specifically the bad ones. Then we're going to talk about how I hate Planet Fitness. Then we're going to talk about my spiritual beliefs, some of which might sound a little unwell. And then we're going to talk about Bethany Frankel. Bethany Frankel is probably going to be a two-parter. I'm going to warn you right now. That one's probably going to be a two-parter. Loving the ones with your opinions. I'm glad that you like these. I'm glad. Let's do our little frickin' game. We'll do the sports one on the theme of things that I want to fund but not be a part of. I'm excited about our schedule. Boom. If you have not been here before, this is just a little game that we play about whatever we talked about. It is just for funsies, just for bragging rights. Your name will come up on the screen. So if you don't want that to happen, put something clever and fun instead. You don't need an app. You don't need an account. You don't need anything. You can just follow the directions on the screen. We're offering you the opportunity to change your flight at no additional cost. You're asking me to do you a favor, is what you're doing. And I don't even know what time that flight is. Discover your alternatives below. If it's earlier, I'll do it. Really looking forward to bees. I just watch compilations when I'm high. That's funny. 2 days earlier. No, these are all different days. Fuck that. If they cancel this flight, I'm going to be pissed. Pissed. Yeah. Because the other one, I'd miss a show if I left early. Not doing that. Sorry. And if you change it, I will actually lose my mind. Oh, wait. Our show on Saturday is at 3 p.m. Oh, but this flight's at 7 a.m., so that doesn't work anyway. Who cares? April 14th, I have Lily Allen tickets, but I will watch immediately after that night. And these do go on YouTube. I need to remember to put this one up before I leave. Intimate crowd tonight. I kind of liked that for us. Or maybe they oversold the flight. Another option. Dun, 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 dun. Man, there's 12 of you. I kind of want Chili's right now. I just ate dinner, though. Mr. Redacted made shrimp pasta. It was really good. Can we make overselling flights illegal when you're rich, too? That'll have to be when I'm in charge, but yes. I'm glad you loved this. Okay. I think we're ready to start. I'm starting. Is there a possibility you'll perform at the Plano, Texas show at the end of April? There is a possibility. I don't know yet. I actually don't even know when that is. Let me look it up. Okay, I'm going to look that up while we hit start. There's only 14 of you, which is honestly totally fine. I appreciate all 14 of you. Boom. Perhaps. I will see. I will see if I will be at that show. I think that just got confirmed. So let me see what's happening in May. I'm excited for us to get new pictures done. This feels like hanging out with your English teacher during lunch with your friends. That's nice. What does Miss Redacted hate but want to fund? Poetry. I don't hate theater. I do enjoy theater. Even musicals. I even like a musical. I don't really like musicals on TV, but I like them in real life. What is a rule at the Play Center? Kathy Griffin's iPod, welcome. What color Bronco do I want? I feel like I have dried shampoo on my scalp. I feel like I didn't get all of it out. Who gets the floor seats for concerts? Where are you going this month? I will show you. Here, I'm gonna pull it up in a second. Pause. While you all play this game, I will pull it up. Once the game's done, I have it ready. What question are we on? Oh, 7. Why am I buying land in mass? Everything except profit. What are my selfish purchases? Everything except shoes. I'm not really that into shoes. I'm really picky about them, and I don't really care about the brand. What are the key features of my giant inclusive playgrounds? Fences and bathrooms. What the real people care about. There have been like 5 different Amazon trucks that have driven past my house. Like, what's happening right now? Why are we on spring break? Nice job. West Coast tour. Get tickets. And for some people that ask, depending on the venue, our tickets are between $20 to $40-ish. The Avian Slam Poetry Influenza, Valid Goth, A Natural Pool Screened-In Porch, Socialist Baddie, Kathy Griffin's iPod, Fairy Charlie Casserole, D-Money, The Meg, If I Had $1 Billion, If I Were a Rich Man, A Rich Parking Lot, BP, and Puss Puss. Nice. Here are or let me put the collaborate board up. If anyone has a meme or any other ideas, feel free to add it. But I will go ahead and put up my stand-up dates for the next month. So I will not be on Twitch until March 24th, but I will be all of these other places. I love to meet, especially my stream people. Whenever at the meet and greet, people are like, I watch your stream. I'm like, what's your username? But I love meeting everyone. I would love to meet you all. I would love for you to come to our show. It is not very PG. Like, we curse, we talk about sex, we not with like children, obviously that would be disgusting, but like it's not all teacher comedy is what I'm saying. It's not all about the classroom. We joke about life as well is what I'm trying to say here. And it really is a good time. I'm really excited for the rest of this tour. And we're going to do more stuff this summer as well. So thank you all so much for being here. I was excited to do this, and I wanted to do something kind of easy where I could really chat with you guys before I leave. Oh my God, so many memes. What I would do if I was rich. Oh yeah, the slam poets under Mr. Redacted's rule. Mr. Redacted when she's rich as fuck. This messed up world we live in. Her cure for the messed up world. Slam poetry. Oh my God. That's funny. Thank you all so much for being here. Mwah, mwah. And I won't see you next Tuesday, but I'll see you in a couple of Tuesdays, and I will see you